Hello and welcome to the first of many of our kids' virtual projects. My name is Chelsea and I'm the head curator at the Wyndham Textile and History Museum. Our first project we'll be doing is called, here it is, Spool Love Notes. It's this little guy right here, and it's very easy to make. And when you open it up, there's a lovely little love note inside. So this video is going to be how to make these. If you would like to purchase a kit from us, which of course all proceeds go to the museum directly, you are welcome to go to our website, which is www.millmuseum.org, and you can order a kit right through there. So the kit comes with quite a few things to make one of these. Here's a kit bag. You get enough to make 3 spools, and they come in different sizes because of course thread did. And you have your ribbon and all sorts of other little doodads to put on. What you may need is a glue gun, and if you are younger, please make sure you have adult supervision because these can get very hot. And a little pair of scissors, so if you want to trim your ribbons so they work a little bit better. Maybe they're too long, because we do have them cut all to the same size to accommodate all 3 spools. Now for the love note itself, there's many different ways you can write it, and that's the first thing we'll be doing is our love note. If you have messy handwriting, I know I do, you can always print something and cut it out and glue it right into the inside of this if you don't want to handwrite. But that's our first thing we're going to do. So you get a choice of a bunch of different papers here. These are the 3. I'm going to choose this nice pink one here, I think. You know what I forgot is a pen. Let me just reach behind me. Grabbed a couple just in case. And by the way, welcome to my workshop. This is where I get to make lots of fun, pretty things as well. So some of these are directional. So for example, if you have hearts or something that has a direction to it, you want to make sure you write your message the correct way. So like this, you want to make sure that it's not upside down. This doesn't look that directional to me. It's a damask print, so it should be fine. Let's see. What should I write? I'm going to write, I love history. And I'm going to do a little heart for the eye. There we go. So this is our first part. And next we get to choose, of course, our spools. So I have 3 here. I think maybe my bigger one. And you might find with these, you might need to trim it down a little bit if it's too big, because we wanted to make them all about the same size. There's only a few that have these tiny spools in them. So in your package, there it is, there's these little guys called glue dots. This is what you're going to use to stick your love notes. So you're going to take it and just stick it on, oops, there we go, right onto the end. And then this is going to get stuck on like that. And there's our first bit. Also in your kit are all these little paper hearts. You may even have an X. The XOs, for the hearts are the O's. You could glue this on if you would like to make it a little fancier. I am going to try to do so. Mine is probably going to say OX rather than XO. And just gently push that on. You can also lay it flat, really press that on there. And then for my heart, I'm thinking that heart's going to look best. And we want to glue it on so half of it is stuck to the paper, half of it's hanging off. So I'll just put a little smear of glue right there. And again, be careful because this glue can get very hot. So look at that, that's pretty cute. Oh, and it looks like the edges of my X don't want to stay down, so we're just going to throw a little more glue there. Now you're also welcome to use a glue stick, or if you have a preferred gluing method, whatever you are comfortable with. All right, I'm going to take my tip of my pen and use that to press this down. That way my fingers aren't all in the glue. There, perfect. All right, so that part's done. Now, if I wanted to, I could tie this, which I think I'm going to do. You have 3 little ribbons. I'm going to let that unwind. And these don't connect in any other way besides the fact that they tie. There we go, and then you'll make a knot, or a bow. Bows are much prettier than knots. I'm trying to do this upside down. I'm going to turn it towards me, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like. I cannot mirror bow tying, apparently. There we go. And after you have it tied too, you can always just kind of tighten that up a little bit more. Get this a little tighter. There we go. So that part's done. So our last few steps are putting decorations on the top. So we need our ribbon, just like this one. We have this little ribbon on top, so we have a heavier ribbon for that. You do not have to put this little hanger if you do not want. And then I have some buttons stacked up here for decoration. You'll have a bunch of different buttons as your choice, so you can do whatever you'd like. But what I recommend first is taking your ribbon, and you're going to bend it and glue this in place first. And this you definitely need a heavier glue rather than a glue stick to do. Put a little more glue on there, make sure it's really on there. And then you're going to layer buttons. So you might want to play with what buttons look best. It's a bunch of them. There's some that have these little squiggly buttons in there too. Wonder if that one would look better. Which buttons? Ooh, I think I found that one. I like that one. There. All right, so I found my little stack. So this one, even though it's a bigger spool, is going to have a nice little stack on the top here. And then we'll do our next button. And just be careful again if you're using a hot glue gun, because buttons have holes and that hot glue will come right out of those button holes. So I like to hold it by the sides of the button to press it down. And then of course once it dries, you can pull off all of those little glue spider webs. And there we go. Quick and easy. So why spools? Why are spools so interesting? And of course, why does the Mill Museum have so many? Because I can tell you we have a lot of these spools. And that's because of the history of American thread. So our museum is mostly dedicated to mill history in Connecticut. So we don't just have American thread, we have the Willimantic Linen Company and a lot of other different mills in Connecticut that are represented. But the American thread, just like this spool right here, was the mills that are right across the street from our museum. In fact, our building that we're operating in is the old American thread building for the employees to come. There's a library in there, a shop, and they would get all of their supplies. Same thing for Willimantic Linen Company. And Willimantic Linen Company was in business up until 1898 when the English Sewing Company purchased them and they became the American Thread. And they stayed in operation until 1985. They were actually in the 20th century the largest factory in Connecticut and the largest thread mill in North America. So there's a lot of history there. And as you see, thread comes in many shapes and sizes, and there's a lot of different companies. And these wooden spools are beautiful. Some of them are a little rounded. These guys are heavier threads. They're either button or carpet threads. There's cotton threads, which are more for quilting, silk threads, and a lot of different types out there. So next time you see a cool old wooden spool, maybe look at it, figure out where it came from, because maybe it's a part of your local history. You never know. And if you like this project, please come back. We'll have more coming out. Again, visit us on www.millmuseum.org. Thanks a lot, guys.